Hello, my name is Richard Paredes and I'm a full-time instructor here at Local Union 164 in Jersey City. Today I'll be sharing a video series with you on three-way and four-way switching labs. This video series gives you, the student, a head start before you go into the lab. So sit back, enjoy, and learn. My name is Richard Paredes and I'm going to introduce you to our three-way and four-way switching lab. Now this video is so you will be ready to go into the lab. So let me first show you the components that we'll be using today. We're going to be using a low voltage 12 volt LED light. We'll also be using a 12 volt power supply, DC, and of course three-way and four-way switches. The lab consists of a conduit, could be any kind of cable assembly, and we will put our power supply anywhere in this matrix. And again, we'll be using three-way and four-way switchings with a low voltage power system for safety. I will determine in the beginning of the lab where your power source will be installed. It might be in the lighting fixture, it might be in one of the three-way switches, or it may come into the four-way switch. This way we'll look at each type of circuit. That brings us to the actual circuits themselves. Okay, now let's look at the nuts and bolts of the three-way, four-way switching system. Well, on a blueprint, you're going to see this. You'll see the symbol for a three-wire circuit. It's going to go to a light fixture with the number of wires. In this case, we have 3 wires. We're going to go to a light fixture, and then we're going to go back to our other three-way switch. And again, it's a switch with a 3 on it. It's a switch with a 3 on it. And of course, the four-way switch is going to be the same switch with a 4 on it. So on a blueprint, you may see this three-way, four-way switch combination. In this case, it'll be 4 wires. Well, that's the blueprint. Well, let's look at the real hardware here. So now on our three-way switch, we're going to have a conduit that connects 3 boxes together and a light. Our first step is I'm going to put a three-way switch right here. This will be a three-way here. So again, a switch with a 3. We're going to put a four-way over here, a switch with a 4, and we're going to put another three-way here, switch with a 3. And of course our light is right here. Here's our light. Well, this configuration depends on where my feed is put in. So where are we going to put the feed? Well, for this case, we're going to put our feed in here. So here's our 2-wire feed that's going to feed this light switch. Now what I'm going to tell you is, whenever you're doing a three-way switch, you want to do white to the light. So you're going to take that white wire and you're going to immediately bring it to the light. That's your first step. In this case, we're going to bring that white wire up and we're going to connect it to the white of the light. Now anywhere the feed comes in, anywhere, if it came in over here, if it came in here, or if it came in on the light, it would still be white to the light, because then we're left with just a three-way, or the power, or the switch light, right? Now we have to develop our three-way circuit. So my first step is to take the switch, and remember that on a three-way switch, one of the terminals is a different color, and that's what we call the heel. So we're going to take our hot wire on this first switch and we're going to put it right to the heel of the switch. There's that heel. Take that hot wire, go right to that heel. Now you're left with 2. They're the same color, but not the same color as the heel, 2 wires, and we're going to bring those 2 wires to our next switch. So we're going to carry them through. I'll make it red so it stands out. We're going to carry those through, right? And we're going to go to our next switch. There's the 2 different travelers. They're going to come in and they're going to go right to, remember, four-way. Four-way switch is going to have 2 different colors. So here's our four-way switch. You're going to have 2 distinctive colored terminal points. There they are, right there. 2 distinctive colored terminal points. So we're going to bring that switch and we're going to go ahead and hit those 2 points, right? And then we're going to come out and we're going to go to our other 3-way. So we come out, we bring our other 2 wires out, we bring them in to our switch. Here it goes, up into our switch. And then what do we have? That 3-way, remember that heel that we have? So we got our switch, we have our heel, that's a different color. And we have our 2 travelers, right? Here, that they're also going to be a different color from the heel. And then we're going to bring those wires right on there. Our last step is going to be to feed the light. Well, we're going to take that last heel, we're going to go ahead and come right up and we're going to feed the light. And look at that. There's our hot and we're completed with that 3-way combination. Remember, it's always white to the light no matter where you are. And then you're going to develop a switch circuit. You know, we could draw it many different ways. We could say, hey, the feed comes in, right? It goes to my 3-way switch, those 2 points, those 2 travelers, right? And it comes back and it hits the other 2 on the other 3-way, right? There's my other switch. Remember, white to the light. There's my white, my neutral, there's my hot, and again, there's my light fixture. That's how it works. Now, if we stuck a 4-way in there, hey, you just go right here, and there's my 4-way, and there's the switch combination. Again, it depends on where the feed comes in. It could come in this switch, it could be in this switch, it could be in the 4-way switch, or it could be in the light fixture. That's what's going to determine how we're going to develop this circuit. So on the lab today, we're going to give you tools. We're going to give you a scenario of where that light goes in, and we want you to understand the circuitry. And how many different circuitries do we have? Well, listen, if it comes in one switch, it's the same as if it came in the other switch. It's going to be that same deal. You bring that white right up to the light, right? And then you bring that feed right into that heel of that switch light. Now on other configurations, and this is what you're going to do, this is the homework, is you're going to develop the other circuits that could happen. Well, what happens if the feed comes in the light? And what happens if the feed comes in the 4-way? That's what you're going to be prepared for when you come to class to do this hands-on lab. Well, today you'll be using some tools and materials, and the first tool that I want to discuss is safety. So when we do this and we're in the lab, we're going to be wearing our safety goggles. And let me go over the tools with you. You're all going to be given a pair of wire strippers. You're going to be given a screwdriver set, and you're going to be given a pair of alignment pliers. Those are our tools. For materials, you'll be given a black and a white wire, and of course tape. And again, in configuring this project, what I will do is I'm going to tell you again, okay, where's my feed? Well, your feed is here. Here's your 4-way switch, here's your 3-way switch, here's your other 3-way switch, and here's your light. Now your job in this lab is to make this work. And not only to make it work, but we want it to be neat and workmanlike. We want to look at the terminals. And these are things that you need to be prepared for when you come here on this class day to do this project. Okay, let's talk about some tips and tricks. Well, the first thing I'm going to tell you when you're trying to get that wire through that pipe or that conduit, we're going to want to make a little nose on there. And what I'll do here is I'm going to bend this over, fold it over, and make a nice little tapered nose to try to put through that terminal. You see a nice tapered nose. There we go. That's the first thing. The second thing that I want to talk about is when you're terminating. Okay, so you're going to terminate on these devices, so you're going to go ahead and strip it. You're going to strip it. Now it's stranded, so going around that terminal is going to be a problem. So we have a few methods we can do. One is we can twist the wire in the other direction, give it a loop, and put it around the terminal. That's one method. The other method that we can do is we can strip it, and then we can put another little strip in there and pull that little piece of plastic back and leave it on. This way the wire doesn't strand off. Remember the direction of the terminal. So in this case, or any case, the terminal is going to turn in this direction, so we want to put the wire in that same direction. So it turns onto the screw terminal. Make sure that it's clean, it's neat, and it's done right. This lab, but we provide all the tools, but you can bring your own tools if you feel more comfortable. Remember your safety procedures. This video lecture has been brought to you by Local Union 164 JATC. I hope you've been informed, and I hope that you're excited to do this lab on your next class. I can be reached at richp@jatc164.org for any questions or comments.